Today's video is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to do a year in review, sharing some of the trends I've seen working with thousands of creators over the past year, sharing how both my business and my mindset has grown and changed in 2023, some of the best moments from my podcast, and then talking about what to do going into 2024. I'm going to start off with trends. And the trend I want to talk about is one that I know you all know, AI. Now, AI has literally changed my life this year. If you had told me even 2 years ago that in my software, I would have built this AI that is answering thousands of customer questions, is actually coaching my customers on its own, is helping them make edits to their products and actually use the software for them. And on top of all of that, I'm able to use the AI to actually build the software and it's actually able to do work for me. I just wouldn't have believed any of those things. And now here we are in just the course of a year, AI has evolved so much and became so powerful that even ourselves as a small team have been able to make these massive improvements, both to our product and to our end customers and what they can do with AI, thanks to these massive changes in growth in AI. So I think that it's really incredible what has happened with AI. I think if you're watching this, if you're listening to this, and AI is still something that, oh, it just seems like a fad or it seems new to you, first of all, I would say that it's definitely not a fad. It's done so much for me this year. But if you feel like maybe you're not fully taking the advantage or the use of it that you could be, then don't worry. If you're starting that even now, you're still very early to it, and there is so much potential. It's really an amazing time to be a creator right now. And one of the things that I said earlier this year is there's all these points throughout the last few years where I feel like there's a moment where I've said, this is like an incredible time to be a creator. This is the best time more than ever where there's so much opportunity for a creator. And I feel kind of bad when that moment seems like it's over and like that was the big thing. But I'm really glad that now I feel I get to say that all over again, thanks to AI and what it is doing in empowering the individual creator to be able to do more. And I'm not talking about it doing things for you and like it's going to take over everything and write everything for you, but being able to be this partner that will be used as a tool and an instrument to augment everything that you're doing in your business. Now, for me, it's been incredible that I can write out these tasks, write out these things I need it to do, and it's actually able to give me a result, not just even ideas about the result, but actually a tangible result. In the case of like building my software, it's actually able to write code for me that I can just paste in and it works. So that is really mind-blowing to me because, as I'll get into later in this video, I thought that in the beginning of the year, it would be really nice to hire another software developer. And then GPT-4 happened, and I honestly don't feel like I have the need for it. And we've been able to do even more this year than ever before, while still myself being involved in so many different things. Another trend I noticed was bigger focus on building communities in this past year. Now, this has been something that has steadily grown as a trend over the past few years, but I think this year creators saw maybe either less growth than they had before or less views on their content. And I believe this is due in part because there are just so many people creating, there's so much competition for the attention of someone's audience. And creators started to realize the importance of having the right audience, having the few good people watching you, and how much more important that is than having a bunch of people who would not really be your ideal audience watching you. And community is really a way for creators to provide something extra to that really core audience and also bring them all together. So that's definitely been something I've seen continuing to change, and I think will continue to be an important part in creators' businesses going forward. I want to talk about some of the interviews on my podcast this year, The Creator's Adventure. So I really enjoyed working on the podcast. It's something that I still feel spoiled by my team, who is scheduling all the guests for me, doing all the research, and I just get to do the fun part of talking with these incredible entrepreneurs. This year, we are in the top 2% of podcasts, and I'd love to see this show continue to grow. We interviewed some really incredible entrepreneurs, not only those who have earned tens of millions of dollars, but even hundreds of millions. And it's something where it's such a great opportunity, not only for you guys, my audience, to learn from what they have to say, but also for me as well to be able to learn from all of these different entrepreneurs. With so many great interviews this year, it was difficult to pick out just a few, but I made a quick list of those that stood out to me. We had in the beginning of the year, Brendan, the founder of Master Talk, showed us how to become better at public speaking. More recently, Ali Richards showed us how much someone can earn from a language learning course, earning more than $10 million. Alex Sharfin, who coaches clients like Alex Hormozy and Russell Brunson, taught us about what makes entrepreneurs different. Eric Siu shared his thoughts on how AI is going to impact SEO in the future. Ron Douglas, the creator of WebinarCon. Arthur Joseph, the man who coached Tony Robbins, showed us how to communicate. Justin Moore told us how to negotiate sponsorships as a creator. And Savash Vashi shared his story of going from refugee to millionaire. This was also the year that we had our first in-person creators adventure. And it actually wasn't in my home here in Austin, but while I was traveling in Hong Kong, I met Kavan Chung. So there's really some great content there. If you haven't followed much of the podcast, I would encourage you to check that out. Even just scroll through the titles on Spotify or Apple Podcasts and find one that stands out to you. I'm sure that you can get a ton of value from it. I really can't believe that we're having all these creators giving this content away for free. It's been great to see the podcast grow in that not only is it getting more popular and people are enjoying it, but we also have some of these really massive creators actually reaching out to us now and asking to be on the show. To share how some of my mindset has changed and evolved over the course of 2023, one of the ideas that I feel came up a good amount was this thought of just how if you have a uncertainty, if you have a problem that you're working on trying to fix, just being better is a solution to pretty much everything. If you extrapolate that out enough and just get better and just relentlessly improve, that is something that can solve so many problems. So really that drive to continue to improve and not let myself get down on little things here and there that didn't maybe go exactly my way, realizing that whatever it is I'm doing, that will be a solution to that problem in the future. And also super important of just enjoying what you do. And if you do that, that's what matters. And making sure to remind myself of that, because that's something that's been so important for me since I started my business back in 2009, being really careful about everything I do in business to not sacrifice that enjoyment for money or growth or impact or whatever it is, making sure that the enjoyment comes first and then everything else is really something I shouldn't be worried about. So what that means for me is like, I don't want to take investors on in this business. I want to be able to do things on my own terms, not feel this additional stress of having to answer to or do something that I have some other kind of influence from of owing somebody. But in turn, like that does bring stress because the decisions to invest in my business, that means that all the money has to come from my pocket. But I realize like I shouldn't be worrying about things if I'm doing what I enjoy doing and like things are going in a positive direction, especially, that's what matters. So just constantly focusing on that and making sure that I stay true to that in everything I do in my business. In December, right now, as I'm recording this, we decided that we're going to kind of take breaks for both the Creators Adventure and the live workshops that we started earlier this year. Because at first it's like, okay, well, this is the thing we want to do every single month or every single week. But we kind of realized that it's a lot harder for both my schedule, my team, figuring out schedules with other creators, both our customers and guests to speak at these things in December, because once we get after the middle of December, everybody's thinking about the holidays and everything like that. And I realized like that's really true with creators over the past few years. Definitely there is a time for people to take a break during this time. And then January, everything goes crazy again when everybody's ready for the new year. And so I figured, well, let's just make that easier for ourselves. And I'm going to more focus on taking a break going forward now. Like every December, we'll just make that a practice that after the middle of December, no more live workshops, no more Creators Adventure. All that's going to come back in early 2024. When it comes to business, there was so much that happened this year, but it wasn't all hard work. There was some fun as well. And if you know me, you know that I really enjoy traveling. I've been to more than 30 countries, more than 100 cities. But since the pandemic, I haven't really gotten to travel that much. So I was really glad to get back into that this year. I spent more than 2 months traveling with my family, and I took my team to Japan for our annual team trip. Work was crazy this year, and it's mostly because of the advancements and improvements in AI. Last year, we had the release of ChatGPT, and then this year, we had GPT-4 come out. And this made something that I had dreamed of building not only become possible, but actually better than I even imagined. And that was building an AI coach. We released Heights AI Coach in August of this year. It's been so incredible what it can do already, even though it's just at the beginning. There's so much more that we can improve on it. There's so much more that we're going to be working on it next year. But already I'm thrilled to see how creators are using it. It's been great to talk with some creators using it, to hear from them that they actually thought that we were reading everything and writing back messages with the AI, and it wasn't just the AI. And to hear that they're actually accomplishing their goals with the help of Heights AI Coach. I think there are a number of creators out there who think, oh, well, there's ChatGPT. Yeah, I can ask it to be my coach. Okay, but I don't get how that's going to really help me. And they don't understand that using these AI technologies and AI tools that we have, things could be built like Heights AI Coach today. And Heights AI Coach is one of really the first kind of autonomous agent products out there where it's an AI that is able to work on its own. It doesn't require you to first be telling it things to do in order for it to give a response. It's learning in the background, it's working and thinking in the background and able to help you grow. And I think next year we'll see a lot more of that, not just with my company and what I'm building, but I'm sure a whole variety of products will build similar kind of AI teammates that are able to assist you. And OpenAI is hinting at future of that and trying to get people more comfortable with it by this new idea of custom GPTs. So this year we also released our brand new course, AI Elevate, about how to leverage AI in your business and build your own AI team. And it's actually the first course that teaches you how to create these custom GPTs for yourself, your business, and also for your customers or your audience. But that's not all. There's so much about AI. There's so much how that grew, how that's changing. And as I keep saying, we're really at the start of it. There's so much more that we have planned for 2024 of how we're going to continue to improve our product with AI, of how I think creators will be able to take advantage of this and grow, because many people out there are still using like the free version of ChatGPT or only the GPT 3.5. They haven't even experienced yet even what GPT-4 can do. And by the time it gets to that, by the time companies start to implement that, then we'll probably have GPT-5 come out and it will be a whole new thing. So really exciting time to be a creator. But besides Heights AI Coach, besides all the AI features inside of our product, besides the AI course that we launched, AI Elevate, we also launched live workshops this year and held trainings with some of the best creators that I've talked with on Creators Adventure, having them train our audience for 90 minutes at a time. We had some great ones we taught how to write a book, how to grow your Facebook group, how to show up in Google, clarify your marketing, sell your business, optimize your business, launch online challenges, and more. And I get to meet many incredible people and creators along the way. And specifically, when it comes to my software, the releases that we had this year, even though I actually worked slightly less probably on the product development itself, we had way more releases this year than we did the year before, with 337 minor software releases. There's still a few more left before the end of the year. 9 major releases, including the final one coming out this next week or so. The live workshops, the AI course, all of these AI features, versus in 2022, where we had 6 instead of 9, and about 260 instead of the close to 340 that we're at this year. So despite that, I only worked slightly more than 40 hours a week. I got to maintain kind of the work-life balance that I'm after and be able to spend time with my family and doing things I enjoy. And then we also have Creator Climb, our own private community and courses. It's built on my Product Heights platform. I'm happy to say that that's grown close to 8,000 members now. If you aren't a member already, it's free to join. It's creatorclimb.com. We have a free area of our community in there besides our more premium courses. Going into 2024, what are my goals? What do I think would be good for you to focus on and be aware of as well? For me, it is creating more content. I want to be not only more consistent with that, but just doing more in general. Now, I did the podcast this year, of course, but didn't really do too much in terms of like YouTube videos or social media. And I do want to create some more there next year because I saw that some of what I did do this year worked out pretty well, but I'm simply not doing enough of it. I want to be more active probably on X and YouTube. On X, I did have a couple moments. I had over 1 million impressions in a weekend from posting a little bit, even though my account is still pretty small. Only have about 1,000 followers there right now. I do want to use that a little bit more next year. I found it's a really great place to connect with people in the AI space, which I like. For YouTube, I think that's a great place for creators, and I do aim to create more content there as well. But I also want to have more focus on appearing on other people's podcasts. So I mentioned I did that this year a little bit, kind of like about once a month, I guess. But I'd like to do that much more next year. And I found that it's helped bring customers to us, not only from the audience of that podcast of their viewers, but actually the hosts of the podcast hearing what I have to say and then wanting to become a customer. And that's something I was pleasantly surprised to hear about. So those are some focuses. Also, I want to have a better focus on my community of Creator Climb. Those of you who are my customers now, you know that I spend quite a bit involved in customer support. And despite having like teammates that can help with that, despite having AI that can answer your questions instantly, I still do read customer support emails pretty much every day. And I actually spend more time still in customer support emails in that inbox than checking my own personal inbox. Those of you who are my customers, like you know that you can get in touch with me and you're able to communicate with me. The problem is those who don't know me that well, they don't have that way to connect with me yet. And I'd like to be able to make Creator Climb a place for creators to not only connect with me, but each other as well. So that's going to be something I want to give more attention to next year. Also, probably our newsletter content, making sure that it's really, really valuable and something that people want to share and tell others about, rather than a year ago, it was more just like product releases and some things about us, but not as much direct value outside of the product itself. As far as advice for you, I would leave you with the following advice for going into 2024. Number one would be don't give up. The main issue that I see and that I've talked about so many times before is the reason creators fail is because they don't launch their product. They just stop. There are so many instances I can point to where somebody doesn't have something quite perfect in their marketing and their branding, whatever it is, but if you keep doing it long enough, eventually you will be successful. And there is a point that is difficult to see as a creator because there is this growth curve where things seem really slow in the beginning, but then they can really start to take off. Most creators don't give themselves enough time to get to that point. So I would say don't give up and also allow AI to help you. And by that, I don't mean like have AI start writing a bunch of posts or scripts or things for you, but use it as a teammate. Think about how you can delegate certain things where there's this repetitive process or information that you need to be reviewed or transformed in some way that you could have AI assist you with. And if you want to learn, like really dive into that, my course AI Elevate is a great way to do that. It's only $99. It'll explain all of that for you. It even includes custom GPTs that will help you figure out and narrow down the tasks AI can help you with and then actually write the prompts for you. So that way you can have AI assist. To give it to some examples of this, like one of the GPTs that I released for everybody was a decision analysis GPT. And like things like this, I think is really useful for ChatGPT, where you're trying to think about something, you don't know what's the right decision, you don't know what's the right path to go. And these things, these decisions are things that really hold us back as creators from actually doing the work and creating things. So if you can use AI to do things like that, help you make decisions faster, give you the information you need in order to decide things to move forward in your business, to be able to take things that you've created and review them and kind of give you this outside perspective without you having to schedule a call with somebody else or get all this feedback. Of course, that's going to continue to be helpful and important, but the fact that you can get this information from AI just allows you as an individual to really iterate a lot faster on everything that you do. I'll leave you with this then. What do you want in 2024? What do you want to hear from me? Who do you want me to interview? And more importantly, what do you want for yourself? If you're watching this on YouTube, please leave that in the comments. If you're listening to this as a podcast, join creatorclimb.com and let us know there, or reach out to me personally on X at Brian McAnulty. And until then, have a great rest of the year, and I'll see you in 2024.